Hi guys, so here's a little quick video on how to do a chromatography experiment at home. It's very simple if you are bored or if you maybe have some kid baby pamangkins or siblings and you can play with them. You can do a little science experiment, play the game that I mentioned in the slides where you can have the teddy bears as your suspects and try to figure out which one stole the honey or something like that. And then the teddy bears have their own markers that you can test. So first, before you perform the chromatography, you might want to test the markers first and see which ones are worth testing, because not all of them gives a good separation or good not all of them are interesting to test. So I have a Sharpie here, so try this. And then I'm just gonna pour some water just to see if they separate at all. Oops, dami. So the Sharpie one didn't really show any separation. It's really permanent. But the purple one, I think, looks interesting. The green one, pwede rin, pero I think it's just green eh. Wala. But here you can see some slight pink, slight shades of pink there. So if you perform the chromatography, I think it would show a good combination of different colors. So you're gonna take the paper, cut it off into a strip. If you want to perform it the way the manual told you, you can do that. You can mark a line here with a pencil, measure it. I think that's like 0.5 or 1 cm. I don't remember. But anyway, you can do that, and then you can also mark one at the top and calculate the RF value later on. But since, this is just for fun at home, you don't have to do that. And it's actually quite difficult to wait until the solvent reaches the top line. Sayang sa oras, so you don't have to do that na. Just simply put a dot at the bottom. Okay. And then test it out. Make sure that the tip will touch the bottom. So you don't want that when you submerge it, the tip is already, when you put this in the cup, the tip is going to be submerged right away, because then the ink will splatter everywhere instead of traveling uniformly upward. Okay. So by the way, for the solvent, we're just using water. That's fine. It works as well. It also works well. And then, so you just have to find a way to hang the strip of paper. I'm going to use a paper clip. You can use tape or anything. So I'll just clip it like that and put it inside. Oops. Okay, so now it's going up. You can also try paper towels or coffee filters. I think coffee filter will work really well because it's absorbent and it doesn't have this textured pattern which might make the solvent flow kind of weird. But I don't have coffee filter here, so ito lang. So if you can see it, it's actually taking quite some time for the solvent to travel up. Ethanol, if you use ethanol, which is what we're supposed to use in the lab, it would travel up much quickly, and the solvent front would also be more straight, it's gonna be more even. If you have even just rubbing alcohol, 70% alcohol, that would also work. But since, we're reserving that for the virus, maybe you don't want to use that. Water works as well naman. So I'm going to take this out now. And there you can see the ink. The purple is composed of, well, I guess it's purple and blue. And then you can just wait to let that dry. I also wanted to show you some of my fountain pens. So I only have 2 here, and they look like this. Personally, I like using fountain pens because they are refillable, so you can refill them with ink when you run out instead of having to go out and keep buying pens, which I realized that I used to do a lot. I used to buy like normal pens, and I would end up just throwing them away once they're done. And it's very easy to accumulate lots of pens because they're very cheap. And once, if you do that, you're gonna end up with a lot of pens at home and throwing them all away, which means that they're gonna end up in the landfill because they are plastic and they're not gonna decompose. So with fountain pens, uh, it's refillable. You can have fun with them. You won't throw them away because they can be quite expensive. I only have this one ink with me though. I forgot. I left most of my inks in the condo, so I couldn't show you what they look like. This one doesn't really give an interesting color. It's just a regular red or pink. It's not really a mixture. But for other fountain pen inks, there's so much that you can choose from, and you would be able to see a more interesting separation, more interesting combination. So let me know how it goes if you try this at home. You can try it out with a class if you're really bored, but it's completely optional, of course.